In this video, I've got a delta setup doing some auto trading with Markers Plus, automating these different delta indicators that I have from Ninza. I've got the cumulative delta indicator. For the markers, I've only got the trend start condition activated, not the resuming. I'm changing all of my marker colors to lime green and red. The cumulative delta indicator is printing these triangles. For the volume delta, I only have the delta moderate printing, not the delta strong. Just from my own back testing, I've noticed that the moderate levels seem to catch a lot of the trends sooner than later. And then my instance of Markers Plus, I've changed the long signal object to any object, same with the short, any object, and I've changed the long and short colors to lime green and red, just like I have on the volume delta and the cumulative delta. Just made sure on the volume delta that I've got the moderate red and lime green, as well as the signals for the cumulative delta. So this is pre-market. You can see we've got some cumulative delta signals. There's no moderate levels of delta that have come in so far this morning in pre-market. So I've got this in semi-automatic mode. That means once I enable these, once it triggers, it will turn off either the long or the short, just depending on which one triggered. But right at the open, I'm going to activate both of these and see which one fires off first, and then I'm going to manually manage my trades. So both of these indicators are utilizing the tick replay. Got my tick replay enabled. The Markers Plus software will still recognize longs and shorts when you're in tick replay. But as far as using the Markers Plus logic and creating indicators with markers, I have not found that they work in tick replay. There might be a way to do it. I would suggest reaching out to Pablo at the indicator store to find out if that's possible. But as far as auto trading, you can absolutely auto trade these indicators. So here we are coming into the market open. We've got our first trade activated. We had a long activated, so you can see it automatically disabled further longs. I'm going to go ahead and disable this short. And now I'm just going to focus on managing this trade. So it got us into this trade based on cumulative delta, and we also had some moderate delta coming at the same time. So two bullish signals right here. So depending on what else I'm looking at, what other levels, if I'm checking out pivot points or yesterday's high, low, open, VWAP, other moving averages, all that's going to factor into how I manage this trade. I'm going to go ahead and cash out there. I've had a nice move up. I'm trading with Apex Trader funding, so it's better to take profits when you have them. With the trailing drawdown rules they have, putting your stop below the lows of these candles, you can do it, but if you get stopped out after you were up, a couple $100, you lose that drawdown. Markers Plus will activate whatever ATM you want to create. And I'm going to do another video on how to create different ATM strategies with trailing stops and multiple entries, things like that. But anytime one of these signals activates, it will put an order in with your selected ATM. So there's a lot of different ways you can manage this. So we've been going up all morning. If I was looking for a potential reversal, could hit the short, activate the short. Now it's looking for any red object, either a cumulative delta arrow or a moderate delta dot will activate that. Here's another day right before the market open. This was pre-market. Looks like there's a news announcement at 8:30 there. Had some nice long signals, had a couple nice short signals. So if I just want to trade the open, see which direction it takes right at the beginning, could activate a long and a short, see which one gets hit first. So our cumulative delta is still down, still bearish. We got our first bearish signal. Can move my stops above this last high. Got another bearish signal from the volume delta. We're in some nice profits. You could have a ATM that went to break even after a certain amount of ticks. Would have stopped you out of break even, entered you in again here. Lots of different ways you could go about managing this. Right now I'm just looking that cumulative delta is down, and we've got two bearish delta signals. Three now, three bearish delta signals. So, favoring shorts at the moment. Gonna move my stop down to these highs. Just bearish delta dot after bearish delta dot coming in. Cumulative delta was bearish the whole time. We never had any bullish signals printed the whole morning. So will having the option to automate your trading, will that help you? Will that make you a better trader? It never did for me. I know other people swear by it. They say it helps take out the emotional responses and just activates the trade for you, takes the trade for you like a robot. For myself, it does not help me because I will always interfere when I think I know better. I'm just not the kind of person that's gonna trust the robot to do my thinking for me. However, I do like sharing all these different things that I've tried, different software, different indicators, because we really are all completely different, unique little snowflakes. No one is like the other. We all have something that we are intrinsically good at, better than anyone else. So you never know what's gonna finally click for you and make it work. Just gotta try things out and experiment and keep going. So that's a little delta setup with the Markers Plus. Someone was asking me about that, if it worked with tick replay indicators. And yes, it will auto trade the tick replay indicators, but as far as making your own indicators with Markers Plus, they don't show up on my charts when I have tick replay activated. Is there a way around that? I'm not sure. Someone else in the comment was mentioning creating a strategy using the solar wind, and then also having a higher time frame, kind of filter out the results. So you could do something like that in Markers Plus, or you could also just use the built-in strategy builder. I've got this strategy set to trade from 9:30 a.m. to 10:20 a.m. I've got two conditions. The first condition is just the Ninza solar wind with the value plot of the signal trade. The value plot of the signal trade is less than the numeric value of 0. And then for the higher time frame confirmation, I've added a condition here. So in addition to having a short signal on the solar wind, I also want the close of the candle to be less than an SMA. And the period is user defined. So it could be a 100 SMA, a 200 SMA, 20 SMA, whatever I want. And the opposite for the shorts. I've got the solar wind with the value plot of signal trade greater than a numeric value of 0. And I also have an additional condition. I want the close of the candle to be greater than my higher time frame SMA. So now instead of taking all the solar wind signals, it's only taking the ones that I have filtered out with a higher time frame. I can run an optimization on this to see what I might want to have in the future. Max profit of 40, max stop of 30. My long-term SMA, I want to check between a 50 and a 200 SMA. And I'll do that in increments of 5. So it'll test 50, 55, 60, 65, etc. up to 200. I'm going to test the last 2 weeks, 12.18 to 12.29. I always like doing the max net profit. Got it set to include the commission. I'm going to do a genetic optimizer so it doesn't take so long to calculate. I'm going to change my generation size to 50. I'm going to change the generations to 10 and click run. And if I attach this strategy to a chart, the strategy that I'm backtesting here, the strategy will auto trade for me. You know, I don't need Markers Plus or anything like that. Just with the built-in NinjaTrader options, just attach the strategy to the chart. You enable it and it'll auto trade for you. So what did I test? I tested the ES 1 minute chart. Nothing spectacular. I bet I have a better performance when I do not filter out on a higher time frame. I could prove that by typing in a very small SMA amount. Let's see if I get better results. I was wrong. It's really about the same. Right around 50% profitable. This has a greater max drawdown by twofold. I think the other one was only 700 bucks to make the same profit. So filtering out the solar wind with the higher time frame is seemingly a good option. I run that test again. It'll be slightly different because it's not running every single test. It's doing the genetic. It's only running like a few options instead of every single option possible. So yeah, with a 200 SMA filtering out the trades, our drawdown was much less, only 900 bucks. Right around 50% profitable, 1,800 bucks. That's after commissions. Only took 17 trades. So again, this is only trading the first 1 hour of the morning. It's just trading the first 50 minutes. So 1,800 bucks for one contract on the ES for 2 weeks. Not too bad. So you could create this strategy in Strategy Builder, then attach the strategy to your chart, and it will auto trade your strategy without anything additional. Or you could add Markers Plus to a chart, Solar Wind to a chart. You can make sure all of your markers are lime green and red if that's what you have enabled in your Markers Plus. Like I have Markers Plus enabled to take longs and short with any object lime green or red. So I just want to make sure that the solar wind markers line up with the same colors. And then I can throw a 200 SMA on the chart, and then I can just look to see if price is above or below the 200 SMA and have either longs or the shorts activated. Price is above the 200 SMA. I only want longs activated if I'm filtering out these trades, so it would not be taking these short trades. Lots of different ways you could use it, and you're not going to catch me auto trading, but it's fun to play around with. Ultimately, I just like manually trading. I like coming in for my power hour, my 1 hour of intense focus. I know everything that I'm looking for, and I just execute. But I also think it's important to play around and try different things and find for yourself what really gives you confidence and gives you an edge. Thanks for watching. Hope you got some good ideas. Best of luck in your trading.